on a damn Friday. And gentlemen, don't get offended. I'm so apologizes. But anyways, I'm waiting for this thing to load, man. Today I watched Houston versus Minnesota. Houston, man, without Anthony Edwards, was struggling beating Minnesota, man. They really were. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Can't lose back-to-back games at home to Oklahoma and Minnesota, especially without Anthony Edwards. That would have been a really bad look for Houston. Houston finds a way to win it at the end, 110-105. But man, this team, man, they're not as good as we thought. Kind of started off good, and then now they're kind of shaky now. But they did get separated a little bit. Like the first three quarters, they were just going back and forth, back and forth. Towards the end, they created some separation. They were able to win the game 110-105. But man, it was a little bit more complicated than it should, man. Julius Randle he was fantastic tonight. Julius Randle, 39 points for Julius Randle. Jaden McDaniels had 15. Rudy Gobert had 10. They led the way. And then you had Nance Reid, 25 off the bench. He was fantastic, Nance Reid. He gave him huge energy off the bench with 25. Nance Reid, man. Those were probably the best scorers. Julius Randle with 39 and Nance Reid with 25, honestly, man. Durant had a really good game, much better than versus Oklahoma a few days ago. 39 points tonight for Durant. Amen Thompson, 14. Amen Thompson does so much, he plays defense, he gets rebounds. He's not going to score, you can't ask him to score 35. 14, he does everything else. 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He's going to get some steals. Sengun had 25, much better as well from Sengun. Sengun 25 and 14 tonight, much better for Sengun. Sengun has got, this is the way, 39, maybe a little bit too much, but this is what you got to do if you're Durant and Sengun. Sengun 25 and 14, Durant 39. This is what they're going to have to do. And they did this, and they still barely beat them without Anthony Edwards. This team has to continue to get better. Reed Shepherd had a nice 14 points off the bench. But look, it's not good. It was this complicated to beat the Minnesota without Anthony Edwards, and it took 39 from Durant and 25 and 14 from Alperen. They're gonna have to keep playing better, and better, and that's as simple as that. Let me think. What else can I talk about here tonight on a wrestling? Let's see here. SmackDown tonight. It was a good show. I thought they really focused the first few hours it started off with McIntyre, celebrating he's a new WWE champion, and saying how Cody doesn't have a rematch clause. And then Randy Orton comes out saying he wants next. And then, The Miz comes out. He hits the crowd question finale. They end up having a match. Randy Orton wins the match. Then later on, Cody Rhodes comes out. What else happened? The Wyatts had another. Who was it? It was Solo versus it was a Damian Priest, and the Wyatts were out there. So a bunch of interference, but at the end, Damian Priest wins the match. But at the end, they continue to attack the Wyatts, so they keep the lantern. That's the storyline right now. I guess they got the lantern. I don't know. The MFT's got the lantern. Then you had Cody Rhodes come out. He's saying that because he got booed, by the way. He's been getting booed the last few weeks, Cody Rhodes. That because he can't challenge for the championship again, he's going to do it the old-fashioned way and for the third time, and only joining Stone Cold Steve Austin to ever be the first person to win the Royal Rumble 3 straight times. And then he tells Jacob Fatu, he wants some payback for what he causing him the WWE Championship. A few moments later, some other stuff happens, but then later on in the show, Jacob Fatu comes out. He calls Cody out. They start fighting all over the place. But I thought the first few hours were focused on the main guys, McIntyre, Fatu, even Randy Orton versus The Miz, Cody Rhodes. And then I thought they kind of got a little bit into the final hour. They got into the mid-card stuff, like Carmelo Hayes versus Slater, who's from TNA. It was a good match, but And then, it's just, you don't know much about Slater if you don't watch TNA. But it was a good match. And it was for the United States Championship. Obviously, Carmelo Hayes won and retained his championship. And then what else happened? Oh, again, let me get my microphone. The main event was Dragunov versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn won with the Haluba kick. That was the main event. After that, Trick Williams attacks him. I think Trick Williams beat Matt Cardona. So I think the fatal four-way match is going to be Trick Williams, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, and Damian Priest, I believe. That's going to be the final. And then the winner of that match at Saturday night's main event is going to face Cody Rhodes, I think, the next week at the Royal Rumble. Excuse me, it's going to face Drew McIntyre the next week at the Royal Rumble. I think this is where they're going. With the show being 3 hours, a lot of stuff happens. It's kind of confusing sometimes. Like I get lost. I'm like, wait, what? But I think that's what's going to go. I think there was a tournament going on tonight, and so it's going to be Trick Williams, Randy Orton, Damian Priest, and Sami Zayn in a fatal four-way match on Saturday night's main event, which I think it's like January 24th, 25th. And then the next week, January 31st, is the Royal Rumble. And I think the winner of that fatal four-way match is going to face McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Everybody else is going to have to enter the Royal Rumble. It was a good show, but I thought like that final hour was very heavy mid-carder. I would rather, I don't know. I think they have to like, I think the goal was to keep people involved, keep watching. So they I think they decided to do all the star stuff, the main event stuff, the first 2 hours. And like, well, we hope people can, keep up the final hour. We, watch the main event, the Carmelo Hayes United States Open Challenge, and then Sami Zayn versus Dragunov for the main event. I don't know. It was a good show. Real quick, I don't know who said this. One of the reporters from wrestling said that Nick Khan is involved with creative, even though he has denied it. He said he's not involved with creative. It is believed, I don't know who it was, Dave Martzel, or Dave Alvarez, or Dave Meltzer, or Sean Rossap. Somebody said, I forgot who it was on Twitter today, that they've been told that Nick Khan and Triple H do talk about creative, and Nick Khan does have a say in creative. So who knows where that goes. Let's see, baseball. Bobo Shits goes to the Mets. So the Mets finally get a star player. I don't think that's how you say his name. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say his name. But he goes to the Mets. So the Mets finally get a player, man, a really good player, man, in Ham. I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what else is going on in the world of sports. Not football, just a bunch of injury stuff, or coaching interviews. Not a lot of national championship hype. I think everybody's focused more on the NFL playoffs. It kind of sucks. Kind of goes under the radar. I think they should low key just play on Thursday. I think it would have been better, honestly. I think everybody there, and then on Monday, people are going to be talking about the NFL playoff games from the weekend. I think they got to move that game, man. I don't think it's smart to have it on. Like you're right. Yeah, you're not getting any hype for it. Nobody's gonna really talk about it on Monday. Maybe Tuesday you'll get some hype on it, right? When the game's over on Tuesday. But yeah, that game should maybe been played on Thursday, either this Thursday or even next Thursday. I don't think it's really smart to have that national championship right. Like, I don't know, no hype for it. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night here tonight on a Friday. Have a good night, everybody. Holla at your boy. All right, guys, have a good night. I will be back tomorrow. Holla. What the fuck is happening? Why do you think Chinook?